Hello ladies, Tracy here, Women Want Adventure, and we're here on the river today. I thought I'd run through a little how-to video on the forward stroke. If you've ever been out on a kayak trip with me before, you'll know that forward stroke's pretty important. It gets us down the river, it gets us through the rapids, and it gets us over the bay. So really when you look at the forward stroke, yes, it's about going forward, but we want to break it down a little bit more. I'll give you a little bit more of an in-depth sort of how-to and give you some extra tips. So when we break it down, we break down the forward stroke into three major parts. First part's called the catch phase, second part's called the power phase, and the third part's called the recovery phase. Now the catch phase is just about how we get our paddle to the water, the power phase is about how we drive that energy through the water and into the kayak, and then the third part is the recovery phase, about how we start the next stroke. So that one's a pretty simple one. Now let's have a look. The catch phase. This is about how we get our paddle to the water. So we're already set up in our paddler's box shape. Now that's another how-to video, check out our socials for that one. We're all set up, ready to go. Now we're going to take our paddle to the water by rotating our left shoulder forward first. We're taking a stroke on the left. And we're going to drive that paddle down and catch the water, fully immersing our blade right up to the drip ring if you have one. And we want to make sure that we get a nice solid entry, so nice and smooth, no splash. So we're down around where our feet are positioned in the kayak really. And then that's our catch phase. When we're ready to unwind our stroke, we want to make sure our top hand is somewhere between our shoulder and forehead sort of height, so that we start the stroke in the right position and protect our shoulders. Catch the water, hands somewhere between shoulder and forehead height, and then we're ready to unwind. So the power phase is how we unwind our body. We're lining everything up and we're going to unwind our torso, driving our top hand through the stroke by pushing forward a little bit on the paddle. And then the energy in our upper body, our lats, our abs and our back muscles brings the paddle down alongside the kayak until we're about where our hips are in the boat. So again, let's have a look. We're catching the water and we're unwinding our upper body by pushing our top hand through forward a little bit, and we're finishing the stroke about where our hips are. So it's pretty much from our feet to our hips. Keeping that top hand nice and low between shoulder and forehead height. So really, if I'm looking forward, just looking at the scenery, looking down the river, I should see my top hand come through into my field of vision. And that'll tell me that I've actually been unwinding my upper body. If I don't see my hand, it means that my hand's just punching out straight away and I'm not moving my body at all. My shoulders are facing forward and I'm not rotating. So all I'm doing is pushing and pulling here. What I want to do is I want to see that top hand come through my field of vision. It means my shoulders are rotating, my upper body's rotating, and I'm getting that nice energy drive. Now, if we really want to take it a next step further, as we're unwinding, we're also putting a little bit of pressure on the same footrest, on the same side that we're taking that stroke. So if I'm taking a stroke on my left, I'm unwinding my torso, driving the paddle down alongside the boat, but I'm also putting a little bit of pressure on that footrest so that I can drive that energy up through my legs, into my torso, and release it out into the paddle. Now, when I get down to my hips here with my paddle, I'm finished unwinding, all the energy's gone. There's absolutely no point in dragging the paddle back behind me. So we're finishing the stroke here at our hips and we're moving into the recovery phase. Now, the recovery phase is just simply slicing the paddle out, letting the little finger lead the way, rotating the blade just slightly so that we're getting a nice square catch on the other side. So recovery is just about slicing the blade nice and cleanly out of the water and rotating our wrist a little bit to set that blade up on the other side. So we have our catch phase, our power phase, and our recovery phase. And that's our forward stroke, ladies. I look forward to seeing you out and about on a kayak trip really soon.